How do you forgive someone who didn't just break your heart, but left you wondering if love ever really existed between you? I used to believe that love was something you grew into. That with time, effort, and honesty, even the most mismatched pair could find their rhythm. But that was before my younger sister disappeared in the middle of the night. Before we found out she hadn't been kidnapped, but had chosen to leave, with a man old enough to be her father. A man who was once close to our family. A man none of us could forgive. My name is Zara. I'm 27 now, a medical intern at a public hospital, the kind that leaves you too drained to feel anything but sleep. But 3 years ago, life wasn't this heavy. Back then I was still in med school, and our home was full of laughter, old Bollywood songs, and the constant clatter of chai cups. Our family lived in a modest house in Lahore, a quiet neighborhood where secrets had no place to hide. I shared the house with my parents and my younger sister, Mahnoor. She was 18 at the time, bright, curious, and achingly innocent. She had never dated, never even held hands with a boy. My parents, especially Amy, were proud of her purity, as if it was a badge to be protected at all costs. Then came Mr. Raymond. He was 56, a family friend, who often stopped by after evening prayers. He'd been friends with our late uncle and had somehow slipped into our lives like smoke under a door. He brought us mangoes in summer, winter shawls from Kashmir, and tales of how things used to be. My parents respected him. They tolerated him. Mahnoor. She admired him. I used to catch her watching him with the same eyes she once used to stare at fairy tale princes. I shrugged it off. He was old. Practically ancient compared to her. And besides, she was a virgin in every sense of the word. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually untouched by the world. No way would she fall for a man like that. I was wrong. One night she was gone. No note. No suitcase. Just an open window and a house full of silence. We called the police. We put up missing posters. My mother wailed as if mourning the dead. It wasn't until the third day that we got the call from him. Mr. Raymond. He calmly informed us Mahnoor was safe. And with him. That's when everything broke. My father stormed out the moment the call ended, but he didn't make it far. I don't think any of us knew what to do. What do you do when your daughter runs off with a man twice your age? I dialed Mahnoor again and again. No answer. I left her messages, my voice cracking into pieces. Please come home. We're not angry. We just want to talk. But days turned into weeks. Eventually she messaged. A short text. Zara, I'm okay. Don't worry. I love him. I love him. That sentence replayed in my head like a chant. My sweet, soft-spoken sister, so naive she once cried after watching a pigeon get hit by a rickshaw, was telling me she loved a man who could be her grandfather? I finally got her on a call one night. I'll never forget the sound of her voice. Calm, gentle, even excited. He listens to me, she said. He doesn't make fun of my poetry. He remembers the things I say. I wanted to scream. Of course he listens. He's a predator. That's what they do. They wait, they charm, and they strike. But I kept my voice steady. Mahnoor, you're still a child. She laughed. I'm 18. Legally, maybe. Emotionally. You're chasing a man who knows how to manipulate. He didn't manipulate me, she snapped, suddenly angry. He loves me. I chose this. Chose. What choice does an 18-year-old girl have when she's never known love from boys her age? When she's been raised to believe her value lies in being soft-spoken, obedient, untouched? Still I bit my tongue. If I pushed too hard, I'd lose her completely. Weeks later she came back to visit. She was wearing makeup, bright lipstick, her scarf loosely thrown over her shoulder. She looked older, yes, but not in a good way. Not matured. Just worn. Then she dropped the bomb. I'm pregnant. I remember staring at her, blinking. What? I'm having his baby, she said with a smile. We're going to raise her together. It's a girl. I thought I might throw up. Our parents lost it. Abu refused to speak to her. Amy locked herself in her room for days. I tried so hard to understand. But all I could see was a girl who mistook attention for affection. A girl who never knew the difference between love and grooming. I wanted to save her. But how do you save someone who thinks they're already free? I visited her again 6 months into the pregnancy. She was living in a small flat in a quieter part of town. Raymond wasn't home. At work, she said, even though I wasn't sure what work he actually did. The place smelled like lentils and rose water, and she looked tired, not just physically but in her soul. Like the shine had faded from her eyes. We sat on her bed, and for a while we just talked. She showed me the baby clothes she'd sewn herself, told me how he brought her fruit every morning, how he read her poems before bed. But then she went quiet. "He doesn't like when I go out," she said suddenly, folding a little shirt with trembling hands. "What do you mean?" "He says people stare at me, that they think I'm too young, that they judge us." My stomach turned. "Do you think they're judging you?" She didn't answer. I reached for her hand. "Mahnoor, you don't have to stay. We can find a way out of this. You're not trapped." She looked at me, really looked at me for the first time in months. Her eyes welled up. "I thought I was special," she whispered. "That he loved me because I was different. 'Cause I listened. But now, I don't even recognize myself." The words hung between us like a confession. She leaned into me, her head on my shoulder, sobbing softly. "I didn't know what love was, Zara. I just wanted to be seen." I held her, the baby kicking gently beneath her belly, and wondered how many girls out there were mistaking attention for devotion. How many were raised to believe that being chosen was the same as being cherished. Mahnoor had the baby in spring. Girl, just as she said. They named her Noor. She still lives with Raymond, though we visit more often now. She says she's staying for now. Whatever that means. Our parents are slowly mending, though Abu still can't look him in the eye. I wish I could wrap this story up with a clean ending. That Mahnoor left him, became a lawyer, found someone her own age who truly respected her. But life isn't a novel. Sometimes the story just keeps unfolding. I've learned that love isn't always what we think it is. That people crave connection so deeply, they'll cling to the first hand that reaches out, no matter how cold it might be underneath. Mahnoor's story is still being written. And maybe that's the point. Not every love story ends in flames or fairy tales. Some just drift quietly, leaving behind a trail of almosts, what-ifs, and lessons we wish came sooner. I still love my sister, fiercely. But I've also learned to love her gently. Because sometimes the most radical act of love is simply staying. Even when you don't understand.